Well, back at the house, looks like they're starting on putting up the supports for the the beams that are going to go across the top. Not too many people working today, but I'll take a little bit of video of what they have planned on these supports. They look like they're about every other beam going down. They're going to have this support to this footing. And they're doing excuse me. So every other one will have this into that footing and tied in right here. It looks like they got all the forms pretty much down around the steps going to upstairs. You're going to get fitting to go. Let's take this out. Take this out. Heavy. From 1.5 inch. No, 1.5.
1.5.
1.5. Got the pump wired and turned it on. Pump runs good, and he is taking the wires out of the control box now, so we can feed them up through the lid. And like I said, it was 1.5 inches coming off of the new pump. It's only 1 inch diameter, which I think is more than enough. And we're going to set it at 8 pieces, 8 4-meter pieces at 32 feet. And I guess we're going to get started here in a minute. They're finishing up lunch and taking the wires off. My wife dancing. This is a test. For some reason, from here on out through the rest of this video, the audio picked up a horrible buzz, so I'm going to have to do a voiceover, I guess. Hopefully it'll come out all right. So here, getting ready to stick that pump. The pump ran perfect. We did a little test run on it. It's got a control box that it came with, and so go ahead and stick it down in the hole there, and they will start putting the pieces on. There's going to be, I believe, 8 pieces that are approximately 4 meters long. So that puts me at a depth of about between 32 and 34 meters, which is well below. It'll be about, I believe they said the man that drilled the hole told me that the water was starting at 20 meters. So that's what, 14 meters above the pump. So hopefully we're going to get a lot of nice, good, clean water here. We're going to also move the temporary tank that I bought, the 1,000-liter green tank. It was on sale. I think I mentioned in another video that it was on sale for, I think it was $2,200. Most of the other ones were like almost $4,000. But of course they're lifetime. This one's only like 5 or 10 years or something. But I'm just using this as a backup. So I'll end up, we're going to have 2 1,000-liter, I'm imagining they're going to be lifetime tanks. We'll have this one behind and in the other corner of the yard, which I'll use for the guest house, little 3-meter by 3-meter house that's going to go there eventually. And we'll also, I think I'm going to use that solar pump to feed that house. Do something with that. It does have a bathroom. We'll put maybe a couple of beds in it, a little kitchen area or a coffee pot or something, so when people come to the house they'll have a place to stay. So they're getting it down there. He he taped it about every, I want to guess 5 or 10 feet. I don't know. It's probably plenty. I was going to go into the fact of where he taped it and how he taped it, and I just figured it's just fine. He's done a good job. That's my wife's cousin and his wife. That's screwing in the piece right there. They're the ones that are building the wall and are doing a great job on it. He has 2 guys that are working with him during the week, and then she works actually for the company my wife works for, TOT, but she doesn't work for the government. She actually cleans the building and stuff 5 days a week. So she usually works with him on the weekends. They pretty much work 6-7 days a week, but they haven't had much money. He hasn't been working, so that's one of the reasons that I want it. And he's doing an excellent job as far as I can see on that wall. In the beginning of the video, you saw those footings and the way he tied it in. Those are all going to be below grade, by the way. So I think they're doing a great job. So we'll see. We're going to order some stuff. I think he said we needed 5 posts for the back of the property, or 6, and then another 12. And I already got him the sand and the rock that he needed and the concrete. So I have to get him some more steel and stuff before we go to Pattaya on the 8th. We have a flight out of Buriram. We'll be gone till the 16th. So I want to make sure he has enough stuff to at least finish all of the upright posts and the supports and all that stuff. That way when we get back, I just got to figure out what I'm going to do with the front wall and start looking at. We already started looking at designs for the gate, and like I said, that's only going to be 3 tiers. It'll have almost like a typical fence. There'll be a space, and it's going to be iron, some kind of an iron. I think it's going to be on a CNC. The stuff that I've been looking at has been cut by a plasma cutter, which I'm semi familiar with from HVAC. We cut our ductwork that way with a plasma cutter and stuff. It's like state-of-the-art stuff. But they can do all sorts of stuff. We're thinking about, she wants to do her roses, maybe some koi fish, some kind of design. We're only going to need probably 4 of those, and then the gate. I think it's 15 meters wide. I don't know exactly, something like that, 15 meters wide. So need to start figuring that out. And then of course we're going to have to order more of the slats. And like I said before, I think it's going to end up being 5. She wants to leave maybe the first 2 on either side more like the front gate, so you could actually see in from the start of the house back. I want it up high, 5 or 6 high. So, but I think she's right. The first 2 on each side and all the way across the front, lights on all the poles, some nice looking iron work of some sort for the gate and that. And I think it'll look nice. So, all right. So they're still dropping this in the hole. In fact, maybe I'm going to see what happens here in a minute. But it looks like there's maybe about two more pieces here, and then we should get down to seeing if this thing's going to pump water or not, which I sure hope so. Although I'm dubbing this over, so I already know what it's going to do, but we'll get a good look at what it's going to pump. The pump is an Italian pump. It was very reasonable. If you look at what it cost for the hole, although I did get a good price on the hole, 60 meters deep, and I paid, what was it, $13.5, I think? I don't remember off the top of my head. But between that and then the pump was $4,000 with the control box, and 35 meters of cable already pre-wired was $4,000, and through Lasada, and they dropped it to $3,400. So it was a good deal. And it seems like a good pump. We'll see how it works. But I thought it was very reasonable. It's a 1 horsepower, 220 volt single phase pump, and for $3,400 or 3,400 baht, That means between the hole and if I decided to go this way and not had even thought about the solar stuff, it'd be what 35, 4, 17,000 for the hole and the pump. I mean, and then with the 1,000 liter uh, tank, that's only another 22. So 20,000 baht, complete, ready to go. They want 10,000 baht alone just to do the tie-in on the water from the city, just to tie it in. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I still want to do the solar, but it's going to be a while until I put the money aside for that, because there's other stuff that needs to get completed. But we're getting ready right now to, they've got the top on it. They run the power over there, got it plugged in, and Toon didn't have it plugged into the, and she almost pulled it out, but she pulled it over and plugged it in. So hopefully we'll get a good shot of what the thing's going to do here. But I think it's going to be just fine. But then again, I already know what it's going to do. So anyway, it looked clear, and then he decided he needed to cool off just a little bit. So he soaked in it. He ended up tasting it, and I tasted it too. No salt, a little bit of minerals. I did bring it home, and I'm going to send it out somewhere. I got to find out. In fact, if anybody knows, I think I said it before, of a laboratory here in Thailand that does water testing. And my main thing, I do have the tabs. I will test it for minerals, see what the copper, lead, that type stuff is, because again, going to be using this for the fish. From what my understanding, what my wife said, it's not the greatest for running through your, it'll scale up the walls and stuff. So we'll have to see. We'll have it tested and see what it comes back as, and we'll go from there. So yeah, I guess it could, put some kind of a scale on the walls in the shower, that type of stuff. So we'll take a look. I'm going to get it tested. We're setting the tank here, and see what it does. I'm more worried about the fish. If it gets to a point to where I can use that water just for the pond and the pool, then that's what I'll do. I'll use it just for that. I'll have the city water brought in, and then run the rest of the house on, one or two of the tanks, whatever it ends up being, and I'll do that. But I think I want to see what it's going to do first before I go making all sorts of arrangements for stuff. So we'll have to see, exactly how it works out. But he leveled up the tank just with some wood. It's only temporary, just so they can use during construction. There is another pump that we've been using on the gentleman's property behind us, and we'll be moving that up to take it out of the drum, and they'll use that. Then all it is just plumbing it into the top, and like I said, I think it's pumping plenty. Maybe I'll take some kind of a excuse me, some kind of a test on it. Well, there it is, and I didn't realize until afterwards. You can see that it's pouring quite, slowly, and you can see right there that valve is almost 3/4 of the way shut. And then I opened this up just to take a look at the water, and it's just blaring out of the hose bib. And what I did here, in just a second, we'll come back and take a look inside the lid of the pump, and you'll see the difference once I open that valve. And then there's the water. I ended up pouring it into that Pepsi bottle right back there. I cleaned it out and went back over to the pump and got it. But I tasted it. No salty taste whatsoever. A little bit of mineral, which for fish could be beneficial depending on what minerals they are. If it's heavy in minerals, like I said, it could be bad for the shower, the washing machine, that type of stuff. But anyway, I cleaned out the bottle here and filled it up, and I got that downstairs, and now that it's sat overnight, the pH is probably going to change and that kind of stuff. So I'll probably go back over there tomorrow and get another fresh bottle, or bring the test kit over there. Probably bring the test kit if I don't forget it again. And you'll see right here that the little last part of this clip is of the water after I opened up that valve. So everybody, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I just realized when I was over here, this valve was shut off about 3/4, so the water coming into the tank is quite a bit more, obviously. Yeah, I don't think we're going to ever need any more water than that. So it all looks good. I'll go home and test it and then put the video together, and I think everything's going to be cool. Put the lid on. And good enough. All right. Catch you guys on the next one.